What's going on, Flicks Talkers? Welcome back to a review, and this time a spoiler review for the film The Lighthouse. I believe this came out last year. I'm not sure the exact date. I'll put it up right here, but I was recently in a watch along with Movie Files and some awesome guests, and they really recommend that I check out this A24 title. We were just kind of going over really good A24 movies. One of them was Midsummer, the other was The Lighthouse. I put up kind of a poll, and a lot of people were saying check out The Lighthouse. I'm going to check out both, but right now we are going to be talking about The Lighthouse. So I did catch this, a little later than most, and I know some people did see this in theaters. I unfortunately passed up on it just because I felt like this was a movie that I wanted to watch in the comfort of my home, because I knew based on the trailers, it was going to be more of a dry, long dialogue watch. And what I mean by that is that we get a more central focus on the characters themselves, which is excellent. But for some reason, I prefer to watch that in the comfort of my own home. I guess on the big screen, I really like to see, the immersive, just big boom, bang, and, flash. I mean, you guys can understand that absolutely, right? So yeah, I did check this out on Amazon Prime, I believe it was streaming, or Hulu. I'll put it up once again here. My short-term memory is extremely bad. But anyways, guys, we get the characters of Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. And they are just two guys that are put onto this island, which does contain a lighthouse, and they're put on certain duties. And it seems like Willem Dafoe's character is kind of the leader in the group of two, as far as just kind of the more seniority, he gives Robert Pattinson just kind of duties to kind of just throughout the day, just different tasks that he needs to do. But then over time, over the, weeks or whatnot, Robert Pattinson is just not having it. He's looking at more of like a servant, an errand boy, a slave, he even says, and he doesn't feel like he's being treated as an equal. He doesn't feel like this is a leader that he should be looking up to, so they constantly butt heads. And that's a lot of what the movie is, guys. You have a lot of arguments and fighting going on, and then they get drunk, and then they love each other, and then the next day they're just fighting with each other, and it's a constant emotional clash and battle. And that's what I kind of like seeing, even though it was very hard and extremely difficult to understand what they were saying because of the thick accent, especially from Willem Dafoe's. I had to turn on the subtitles, and that's totally fine. I definitely recommend watching this with subtitles, guys. You get a lot of pirate talk. I'll just say that from Willem Dafoe. So I'm not going to try to understand, and guess where these guys are coming from, or even understand the movie. I'm just going to interpret it how I saw it and felt and watched it. I threw it on like at 7 a.m. in the morning. So you don't really have to be in a mood to watch this kind of movie. I think you just throw it on any time of day. It should be perfectly fine. I closed all my windows like I usually do, my blinds, and I kind of immersed myself. And this is a film that is in black and white, and it's shot, I believe, in the 4:3 aspect ratio. So not like how you're seeing it now in widescreen. You're actually seeing it like in a square. So that was a little different and interesting. I actually liked it overall. Like I kind of like lost myself. I didn't even notice. And jumping to my likes of this movie, I'm gonna say that the dialogue between the two was fantastic. It was unmatchable, and I can understand why people love it. The story, the plot idea of just them isolated for what they thought was going to be 4 weeks, and then ends up, being pretty much forever. The ship that dropped them off was no longer, was nowhere to be found. I thought that was awesome. And there's a lot of tie-ins with why they were not picked up. And, Willem Dafoe was kind of hinting at a bad omen that happened because Robert Pattinson did kill the seagull, the gull. So there's a lot of terms being thrown around that are short, for different words and stuff. So it took a little while to kind of pick up on what they were talking about. But I thought it was extremely funny that we got to hear words like bitch, like whore, and, words that we constantly, hear nowadays. I thought that was actually pretty funny. As well, comedic aspect wise, there's a lot of farts going on in this movie. So that was something that someone did hint at last night on the watch along, was there's a lot of farts going on. And immediately, like in the first like 3-4 minutes, you hear a lot of farts from Willem Dafoe. So I thought that was funny because he's just letting them rip like an old grandpa and not even caring, not even acknowledging. So that was great. I gotta say the star power between the two, geez, Willem Dafoe, I think, outshined Patterson just a bit, especially in that last scene where he is getting buried alive and he's giving a speech that is just phenomenal about the light, about the lighthouse, and he keeps referring to it as the light. And he's being buried alive, having dirt just in his mouth. It was a very reminiscent scene of the ending scene from Pesci in Casino, where he's being buried alive, he's beaten and battered and stuff like that. So in that final scene, the third act of the movie actually is where it really picked up. So if you guys are looking for some kind of excitement or just a little bit of not really action, but just some fight scenes going on, hold out for that third act. I mean, you guys have seen it if you guys are watching this review, the spoiler review. So I'm so used to just giving non-spoiler reviews, but this one is a full spoiler review. I just wanted to get it all out on the table. And it was cool that we got hints of seeing what the light could do. You saw Willem Dafoe in that first shift. I guess he was, in the night shift. He always wanted to be the protector of the light, and we saw him in it. And it kind of, we saw a silhouette where he's kind of holding the lighthouse. He's kind of just spread out like this, and I didn't know if he was naked or something. There was a lot of sexual things going on in this movie, a lot of masturbation scenes with Robert Pattinson. We also got to see the mermaid as well. That was just referenced in the little statue that he had. And that was another thing too. We didn't know if that was real, or at least for me, I didn't know if it was real, if he was hallucinating. There's a lot of scenes where it could have been hallucinations. Obviously, we got to see the squid, wrapped around his neck at the end, and we got to see Willem Dafoe as a mermaid, which threw me off guard. I kept thinking in that moment, you only got to see it for like 5 or 10 seconds, but I was just like, man, he was in makeup as a mermaid. That's extremely hysterical. I think he's awesome. He's someone that just keeps stretching his acting ability, and he has a resume that is phenomenal, unmatched. Willem Dafoe always puts his 100%. Doesn't matter if it's a huge blockbuster on the big screen or if it's straight to VOD. He nails it. Once again, I feel like he outshined Robert Pattinson, but that's not to say that Robert Pattinson, wasn't doing an A+ job. He was an A+++ in this film, and he's someone that definitely broke out of that Twilight role, because that's all I thought of him in the first 5 years, 6, 7 years, however long those movies went on in his career, that I thought he was just the Twilight guy, and he totally broke out of that stereotype of being that, hunker, teenage heartthrob, or whatever it is. And he is absolutely killing it. He's had a glow up career, and I absolutely love this movie through and through. The ending of this scene, of this film, that last scene where he gets, immersed and hypnotized by the light, I thought was fantastic. And then we get to see that haunting pan out shot of him getting eaten alive by seagulls. Jesus Christ, I don't know what the hell that was about, but his eyes, just kind of were burned out of their sockets. And Willem Dafoe let it be known that guys have gone blind from the light. So I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. The blood as well, being conveyed in the black and white, looked so much more menacing than if I would have seen it colorized. So I actually preferred seeing that dark blood just, soaked, especially at the end where he does kill Willem Dafoe's character. And I loved it. I loved it through and through, guys. I definitely probably would not watch this again because it was a bit disturbing, if I'm being completely honest. But I love the dialogue of this. I think it's an A24 masterpiece, and it's definitely up in the higher tiers performance-wise. So yeah, my review on this is a 5 out of 5, guys. And I thank all the guys in the watch along last night that definitely recommended this one to me. And I'm going to keep the A24 train going and watch Midsommar tonight. So wish me luck, guys. But if you guys did appreciate this spoiler review of The Lighthouse, please give it a thumbs up, and make sure you guys are leaving comments below if you have seen it. But don't leave spoilers down below, because a lot of people are just kind of going through the comments and they don't know what to expect. So yeah, Just let me know what you guys thought overall, spoiler free, in the comments. And if you guys did appreciate this, once again, hit that thumbs up and make sure you hit that subscribe and bell notification for more movie reviews and movie news content. Thank you guys so much. Till next time, I'm gone. Peace.